coming up on this week's episode. Enjoy the many special highlights of NIAF's 2017 New York Gala. This unforgettable evening celebrated with Italian Elan the very best of Italian American culture along with prominent members of the community. Closing the event was the presentation of the Mario Cuomo Award in Public Service, introduced by a moving tribute to the former legendary governor by his wife, Matilda Raffa Cuomo.
Great night ahead of us. It's our NIAF New York Gala, become an amazing tradition here in the city. We're looking at, oh my gosh, some of the greatest honorees you could ask for from all different fields, from community leadership to business to public service. We've got entertainment throughout the night. We'll announce our Region of Honor, which is probably the worst kept secret in all of Italian America these days, but we're trying to keep it until the end, and we're looking forward to a wonderful night. And we're happy to have our i-Italy family here with us. We got so many amazing honorees, I would hesitate to begin. I mean, there's 6 honorees, I can't even list them all, but we've got Vincent, Cino, we've got Anthony Scaramucci, we've got Rossella, Rago, so many incredible people. Mario Vullo. We are so lucky to have these kind of accomplished Italian Americans lending themselves to our foundation and coming out and supporting what we do.
About what it feels like to be here in the New York City NIAF Gala.
Well, first of all, I'm from New York, from Brooklyn, and I always like to come back to the mothership where I get all my energy, and there's so many Italian Americans here who actually built this city. So to be back here at this incredible New York Gala is fantastico.
We are very pleased with the honorees that we have this evening from all different walks of life, public service, the professions, business, Friends of Italy, which I think will, that's an important part of it, and also some celebration and entertainment.
I was raised by my grandmother who lived with us. I have 2 sisters and a brother. We all lived in the same house. We all learned about Italy, the Italian way, the family, food, togetherness, helping each other. And to be honored now by this such a great organization is such it's a dream come true. Let me tell you about one Italian American who was a mentor. My father worked in the A&P as a butcher. An older woman named Jenny would come into the store two or three times a week, and my father would talk to her. He was very excited when he told her I was accepted into law school. The next day, Jenny's husband came into the store, Judge Jacob Triarci of the Superior Court of New Jersey. He congratulated my father and said, when your son graduates, he can be my last law clerk. That was it. Never met me, didn't know if I even had graduated college on time, which I hadn't. He was extending a helping hand to Cino. I never heard anything until I started my 3rd year of law school when I received a letter from the judge appointing me as his clerk. I once asked him why had he never interviewed me. He said, my wife knew and respected your father. That's all I needed. My mother only wanted the best for us and was not reticent in speaking her mind. She made us feel loved all the time. She was a raging liberal who loved to discuss politics. It is a shame she is not around during these times. When you understand the culture and the history of the Italian people and the genius and the art and the creativity that comes from being Italian, it's such a feeling of pride that no one can deny. We are all proud to be Italians. It is a wonderful thing. My family, my grandparents, my parents, my children, my grandchild, it's a wonderful thing.
I just want to tell you guys, it has been the luckiest thing in life to be born Italian, to grow up Italian, to have Italian grandparents, to eat our food, to share our culture, and the pride that we all have.
What means for you being Italian American?
Well, it's really the whole anchor of my life, and any success that I've had in life I attribute to our culture and my family. My dad is originally from Perugia, and my mom is from an area near Avellino. I try to go back every year. We still have family members in the town. Yeah, I'm in Italy at least once a year. Unfortunately, growing up in the 1960s and 70s, because my grandmother really wanted us to assimilate into the American culture, they dialed back the speaking of Italian in the house, and so I didn't learn it as much as I would have liked to. But I will say this to you, I have 4 children, and my 2 oldest children are fluent in Italian. Give a big shout out and thank you to John Viola, because he's done an amazing job of organizing this, and I think it's a big celebration for everybody in our culture, and people originally from Italy and people like myself that grew up in the United States. And I think it's super important to have foundations like this because it keeps us together. It's a glue to keep all of us together and to remind us about how special our upbringings are. The younger generation is becoming more American, so they wouldn't remember my grandfather or my uncle with the accordion and singing the Italian songs like I remember when I was a little boy. But that's okay. We got to bring them to places like this and teach them.
We're not Italian. We're not Italian, but we're becoming Italian. My wife is in love in Italy.
Yes, we've been going there for years. We love all the art. We especially love Murano and the glass. The Seguso family are our partners.
We're partners with the Seguso family of Murano.
Well, my family is the oldest family in the glass business. We date back to May 3rd, 1397, which we are celebrating 620 years this year. And the opportunity to have partnered with Shirley and Vernon Hill to take the jewel of Italy and the Murano glass as a magic to the world became a phenomenal and fantastic journey. And this is just the beginning.
My grandparents, the Ferraris and the Cammaratas, migrated to this country in the 1950s with their teenage children, my parents, Norma and Anthony. They lived in Greenwich Village, met, and as you heard in the video, married in 1961. That was an emblematic year for future generations of Cammaratas. It was the year that my father would start his own business, become an American citizen, and in his mind, living the American dream. 3 years later, I was born, as you heard. The following year, continuing on living the American dream, my parents bought a house in Canarsie, Brooklyn. The house I grew up in and the house that they reside in today, 52 years later. And yes, it's true, the furniture is still covered with plastic. I'm a first-generation Italian-American. My parents came to this country in the 1950s as teenagers, met here, got married, and 3 years later I was born. I grew up in Brooklyn, and I currently live in New Jersey. Being here tonight is very special because it connects me to my roots. It connects me to the values that I grew up in Brooklyn in an Italian family with Italian traditions. When you work in the business world, you don't really think about how lucky you are or were growing up, and you kind of come disconnected from that. But being part of NIAF, being part of tonight's event, really allowed me to reflect and know how special I am to having grown up Italian and growing up in New York and growing up as a first-generation Italian American. The most important thing to me is family, being close to my family. I have 2 children. One just graduated college and one is in his senior year in college. And being with them just brings me back to the days when I grew up in Brooklyn in my little Italian family and cherishing all the things that we've done together.
A book, Cooking with Nona. So what does tonight mean for you and your Italian heritage, you know?
Tonight is all about finally being recognized by my own community, which has been the most important thing. I mean, Italians are a little hard to crack, so it's always wonderful to realize that they think that what you do is meaningful, and that's the most important.
That's wonderful. So your book is out. How do you feel?
It's been a surreal couple of days. We just had the launch event last night and Good Morning America this morning. So I'm just on the clouds. It's honoring our grandmothers is an important part of our culture. It's an important part of our heritage because we have to preserve our traditions for the future generations.
My mother was from Catania. My father's German, from Germany, but I feel more Italian. I look more Italian. Tonight I have some very good friends. My friend Anthony Scaramucci is being honored, and also Mr. Vincent Viola, very dear friends. I'm very honored, me and Margo are very honored to be here to celebrate our Italian heritage. We're all Americans now, but we all came from somewhere, and I'm happy I came from Italy.
As an Italian American, what does this night mean for you?
It means celebrating all that my grandparents did, coming over from Avellino. And then I think of my parents and all that they did to learn the language, to become American, but always tell us how proud you have to be an Italian American. This is a great country. America's a great country, but the Italian Americans are the most proud to be from America. America.
What are you looking forward to tonight?
I will be the master of ceremonies, so when I step on stage, I think of all of the other great people that they've honored here at NIAF. Frank Sinatra, Tony Bennett, Sylvester Stallone, John Travolta, all the great Lee Iacocca. You're too young, but all these great Italian Americans, and to follow in those footsteps, to follow in the path that they blaze, makes me very proud to be an Italian American.
What it's like to be a strong American woman here at the NIAF Gala.
I'm very excited and honored to be here tonight to support all the people that I love in the Italian American community. So much a part of the history of the United States. Great families, great culture, and great Catholics too. So I love it.
Are you Italian?
By association. I'm trying to become more Italian as we speak. I'm a good Irish Puerto Rican, but I get mistaken for an Italian all the time, which I like. I take that as a compliment.
Da 2 o 3 anni alla NIAF si dice NIAF. Ha un significato importante questa cosa secondo me?
Beh, credo di sì, rispondo in italiano allora per dire che sì, è un segno dell'evoluzione dei tempi, è un segno dell'impegno grandissimo che l'Italia e le istituzioni italiane stanno svolgendo verso la promozione dell'italiano e non lo stiamo facendo da soli, ma lo stiamo facendo con il supporto, con il sostegno delle associazioni italoamericane, di quelle principali. Ovviamente la NIAF rappresenta tutto quello che è la forza di questo mondo. È una presenza che non è formale, è una presenza che non è protocollare, ma una presenza che veramente deriva dal legame profondo che l'Italia ha con gli italoamericani, con la realtà di New York, dall'amicizia con gli Stati Uniti e con le sue realtà. La NIAF è il ponte tra tutte queste realtà e quindi non possiamo che essere qui con il cuore in mano a ringraziare per quello che si è fatto e a sostenerne l'azione e a percorrere insieme il cammino della sempre maggiore cooperazione e amicizia fra Italia e New York.
This is a cold cast bronze of Mario Cuomo that I created for the award this evening for Mario TV's Vullo. John found me online. I've done work at St. Patrick's Cathedral, the Roosevelts for Hyde Park, and Lucille Ball. I don't know if you know about that, but I was so in love with Mario Cuomo, his heart, and I just felt, everyone feels that when they see this piece that they can feel his spirit, and I just feel it's more of him that wanted to come forth.
I was looking for an award for this Mario Cuomo Award in leadership that we created. Governor Cuomo was a hero to my family, and we wanted something special. And stumbled on Carolyn's website, and I saw the large version, and I was absolutely blown away. And we called and said, "Could you do a scaled version?" And she said, "Absolutely." And she's done it for us incredibly generously. And we look forward to giving this award for a great man in a great likeness for many, many years to come.
Intelligent, wonderful, really terrific lady, Maria Vullo. And it happens now that it's everything. My husband knew her. Now my son Andrew, the governor, actually appointed her, and she is the head of a superintendent of finance and business. Yeah. So Mario always believed that NIAF was the right thing to have, the right organization to have, because we need that to bring us together. And you know what the Pope says when I met him? La familia. So for Mario and for me, La familia is always the NIAF coming together.
Obviously, the National Italian American Foundation is a terrific organization that celebrates Italian heritage and recognizes the successes of Italian Americans. I'm a proud Italian American, and it's just an honor to be honored by an organization like this, and to receive the Mario Cuomo Award for Public Service is really, truly a special honor, given what a terrific man he was and a terrific Italian American as well. One of the most important things about Italians is to be proud of being Italian, to be Italian American, to be proud of also being an American, to never forget where you came from, you know, and always continue to celebrate that culture and heritage. The most important thing of which is really family, and the importance of family and the importance of family loyalty. That's the way I think about being Italian, in part, but there's so much more than that. Mario Cuomo really represents so many things, but certainly for me, when I was a young, person growing up in New York, to be able to see an Italian American, someone who had a vowel at the end of his name like I did, to achieve the great success that he did, and to be an ordinary person and really care about real people, just told other Italian Americans, you can do that as well. And I thought, he was a man of principle, and he was someone who never forgot where he came from. And so for me, that's really who he is and why it's so important to me and such an honor to receive this award.
I just want to add something about Mario. Besides being a brilliant man, a wonderful orator, he was full of the most wonderful stories. Every time I met with him, in a cocktail party or anywhere, he could really make everyone laugh. He had a wonderful sense of humor. So I wanted to be sure we added that.
That's true. His sense of humor comes from his cultural background, too. Because, you know, when he saw his parents suffer, and they did. The fact is, though, the humor of it comes out that look who he became himself. And when he said to his mother, "Look, Mom, aren't you happy now? I'm the governor of New York State." She said, "When are you going to become a judge?"
I wanted you to know that when Jerry and I began to talk about having the first meeting of our organization, I had at that point no Italian American friends. And she invited almost everybody. And at that very first meeting was my friend Matilda. Mario was lieutenant governor at the time. And she has been with our organization since 1980, so we're very grateful. She's one of the few left of the founding members of our organization. She's contributed a lot. Thank you.
So, and looking in the future, what do you see?
Well, I think that we've got to keep the language alive, and we have to keep the young people involved, and with our organization we're working very hard to bring in young professionals into the organization. And I always tell my grandchildren the best part of them is Italian. That's it.
In the past 5-6 years, we've seen a tremendous shift, really, I think, towards young people. And through our voyage of discovery, continuing with our scholarship program, and embracing our young people. That is the future of our culture here in America. In the Italian Americans who are here in the United States, I am first generation, but they are second to third generation. And it is vitally important that we preserve the Italian culture, the language, the experience. So I've seen through John Viola, our president, a tremendous shift, more young people coming to the NIAF, becoming involved in our programs, and being awakened to their heritage.
Could you give us some advice as to working in television and being a journalist?
Well, I think what you have to do is really study your craft. Prepare, 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 and really love it. You really can't be good at something unless you really have passion for it, and that's our Italian secret sauce. It's all that passion. Then you'll be very successful.
Passion. Thank you so much.
Welcome.
We're very proud of these interns. I know that I've gotten to spend a bunch of time now in the past couple of days with them, and I think this is a program that we hope can stay for a long haul, and we hope other groups in the community will see the value in it and start to sponsor their own interns. I would definitely say it's well worth it to consider this kind of project because it perpetuates our language, it perpetuates our culture with these awesome young kids. This foundation works very hard to bring young people in, to make an interesting evening. We've got wonderful interns from i-Italy here. We've got wonderful young people on our team, and it means the world. But before we go, I want to thank our board of directors, and I want you to give me 2 seconds because the chairman of the board finishes his term tomorrow, and he and I fight like father and son. We hug, we kiss, we make up, we yell. It's very Italian. But I will say, no matter what, he fought to bring me here. He fought to give me this opportunity, and I can't thank him enough. So as the final time that I can announce, our chairman, Mr. Joe Del Raso.
I've served 29 years on this board, and it's some of the proudest moments of my life to represent our community, to celebrate our Italian heritage. And I can't thank you enough for that support that you've all given to the foundation. And believe me, I'm stepping down tomorrow and turning over this foundation to a new team, and the co-chairs, Pat Harrison and Gabe Batista, together with their new management team. And I know they're just going to, move to greater heights. And I will carry within my heart these experiences and these friendships for the rest of my life. I sincerely thank all of you.
we're looking at the future. We're looking at our October, which is now in November, weekend in Washington, the first weekend in November. It's going to be incredible. The Expo Italiana, the gala, the Friday night variety show. We work with the Italian American Studies Association again this year, so it's going to be a packed house in Washington. And then on to the next events, and we are hoping to be able to bring some of what we do to different cities in the coming year and travel a little bit more and get the message out there.